Here we go.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. This is our Between Two Teachers episode for Friday, May 21st, and bringing you news and updates about education, national and local. So my name is Consuelo Lara.
And I'm Madeline Cronenberg. And as always, we greet you from the ancestral lands of the Chochenyo, Karkin, and Muwekma Ohlone people. We pause to acknowledge that we have gathered on their ancestral territory of the Huichin, part of the unceded land of the Chochenyo and Karkin speaking Muwekma Ohlone people. We acknowledge them as the first inhabitants of the land and we currently occupy, and remember their continued connection to this region, and give thanks to them for allowing us to live, work, learn, and pray on their traditional homeland. We offer our respect to their elders and all Ohlone people of the past and the present. And we welcome you today to the landscape of May 21, 2021. And some of the news that's happening this week in education is around curriculum, in particular ethnic studies, what is called ethnic studies curriculum here in California, and is just looking at the shift in curriculum in general. And in particular, there's been pushback, as will always happen when things change. And the pushback is particularly strong right now in a state that leads in being conservative in its education principles, and that's Florida. So the commissioner of Florida schools, and that's what he's called. Here we have Mr. Thurmond as our superintendent, but their statewide highest officer is a commissioner, Mr. Corcoran, Commissioner Richard Corcoran. And Commissioner Corcoran is leading the charge. He made a speech at Hillsdale College, and he's leading the charge in making sure that there are no shifts, let's just say, no shifting in perspective in how their civics literacy is taught and their history is taught. And all of the issues that are coming up now in changing curriculum, really that's what they're about. We have to stop looking at it the way we've looked at it in the past, which was really from a very Anglo perspective, right? The colonizing perspective, and step all the way back and look at it the way the 1619 Project looks at it, right? And understand it from the perspective of the native inhabitants who we just honored in our land acknowledgement. Not so in Florida. There is a tremendous pushback to doing that in Florida, and they're about to adopt a standardized process that allows them to stay still and not make any changes that they believe cause people to hate. Their statement is they believe changing that perspective will cause people of different races to hate each other. That's basically what they have said, when really the truth is the opposite. But that's happening now in Florida, along with the fact that this has happened again. They've fired a teacher who had Black Lives Matter materials in her classroom and was teaching from this perspective. So there is real pressure in Florida, and that's been true for a long time. It's not that it's anything new, but it's something we need to be very aware of. This is a national issue, and even if California has moved ahead, it has nothing to do with what's happening nationally.
Yeah. Just a note about that, to say that if we do ethnic studies, it's going to make groups hate each other. In fact, it's the opposite that happens. You get more tolerance, you become more respectful, and this piece I really know they want to avoid is that it is empowering.
Right.
When first time I took any Latino, it was Chicano studies. That changed my life, and I knew I could do more, and I did more than I ever expected. and it empowers. That's the last thing they want, is for
Right.
to feel
Because
empowered.
they're teaching a victim course. Here are the victims.
Yes, yes. So,
Right. And that's really what they want to continue doing.
yeah.
Right. I mean, and the other two things that happened, one is Nicole Hannah Jones, who wrote the 1619 project, and which is at the core of many of these curriculums, or at least a part of them, was denied tenure at the University of North Carolina. And that's just one more piece of the puzzle and the conflict, right? The controversy that's happening here in the effort to try to make sure that we realign our teaching of history. We just need to, it's something we need to do. We got to figure it out. And there are those who don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
So that is a big issue, as opposed to what's happening in Los Alamitos. Los Alamitos did adopt the Southern Poverty Law Center's standards for education. And they had a discussion. It's never going to be something that's going to go without people talking about it. But I just wanted to call out what the anchor standards are to this, and how different it is from saying you're not going to do this, because this program has standards where they teach students to be proactive, right? And they're going to do that anyway. If you don't teach them to do this, they're going to do something. They're going to act in a different way. Here, your children are explicitly taught to express empathy when people are excluded or mistreated because of their identities, and concern when they themselves experience bias. That is exactly what you want for your children. To have students recognize their own responsibility to stand up to exclusion, prejudice, and injustice. To look at it, not to feel guilty. You don't have to feel, we're not teaching them to feel guilty because of people who look like them and what they did in their past. We're talking about how these children are supposed to live their lives. Have students speak up with courage and respect when they or someone else has been hurt or wronged by bias. To have students make principled decisions about when and how to take a stand against bias and injustice in their everyday lives, and do so despite negative peer or group pressure. Yeah. And finally, to have students plan and carry out collective action against bias and injustice in the world, and evaluate strategies that are most effective. To become part of a team trying to build a better world. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. You know, I feel another forum coming on.
Yeah, maybe.
I think
we have to do testing, but there it is. I mean, it's so.
Yes.
And we are still doing the testing forum. That's another thing I think we'll talk about in another week or so. But it's certainly important. There was another district. I'm just going to mention one more thing in California about a district that specifically chose not to reopen, and it's in Pico, Rivera, El Rancho Unified. And their reason for not reopening at all was that they recognized that as a district, they're grief-stricken.
Oh, wow.
They had such a high percentage of loss among their staff and community members.
Wow.
That is literally what the board said. That's why we can't come back, and we have to plan to figure out how we will still, many of our families, our community will still be in mourning when they return in September.
You know, I thought about that the other day, of how everybody's, yay, they're so joyous that everything's opening, etc. But I thought, you know what? We are post-traumatic stress syndrome, and how that's still there. And then for our children, so what a smart thing to do. You know, it's taking care of their social, emotional well-being.
Right. Right. And recognizing that truly there's, in their community, this was a real serious issue, right? So
okay.
I just wanted to lift that up, because that hasn't been talked before as within the conversations around school reopening.
Good point.
Okay, and then, so
Yeah,
what's,
yeah.
what's happening in the West Contra Costa School District? Here is a picture of it behind me, and you and I are up here, and look who's between the two teachers. Up in the corner. There's, there we are up in the corner, and Mr. Duffy is between us when we said goodbye to him the other night.
That was so fun. That was just wonderful. I mean, that was so much positivity. That's what you want to hear, because that's truly our district.
Yes, and here's our, right here, here he is, above the R is the new superintendent,
Yep.
Dr. Hurst.
So glad he got to hear all of that. That was so awesome. Yeah, so things are happening. I just want to mention a couple things about the vaccines. We've got 4 major schools that are going to be where there's going to be centers for vaccines, and Kennedy is one, and Pinole Valley High School, and De Anza, and Helms. So
Yes, Helms got added.
Helms. And so the dates for when they're going to be doing it and the times are posted on the county, and I'm sure they'll be posted on the district websites.
Right.
We'll look for
And we'll
those.
post them on the Between Two Teachers Facebook page too.
Yes, we will. And at Richmond High, there will be soon a mobile clinic there as well. So we just had an announcement on that. It will need parent permission, but if you don't have ID or whatever, you don't have to, you won't be turned away. They will serve people, and
you don't need an appointment.
you don't need an appointment. That was the other
Just
thing.
show up.
Just show up, please.
And also you can show up, what I hadn't realized is you can show up for your second appointment. If you miss your second appointment, you can show up over here for your second appointment.
Yes, that was it. That was very big. And so the other thing is, of course, we've got the new superintendent. He is really great. He's out there. He's talking to everybody. He's calling everybody. He called me. Maybe we'll have him here on Between Two Teachers. You never know.
Yes.
Yeah, we could invite him. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think he would enjoy that. And
we
then
should invite Mr. Duffy back when the mystery of where he goes next.
Oh, that would
no
be
one knows exactly what Mr. Duffy's, he hasn't revealed his next steps yet.
No, he hasn't. And you know what
Yeah.
occurred to me is how a lot of people brought out about how he thinks outside the box, how innovative he is. And if not for the sabotage, I just wonder, the kinds of things he could have done and would have done. But he made such a difference in our school. So I am very interested to see what he does next. Who knows? But yeah, so we'll do that. And then the last thing I want to share is that one of the things that got taken off the agenda so that they could do these presentations were all the things around facilities and Measure R. So please, I want people to get involved in that conversation, because they're looking at the priorities of the facilities that are going to be rebuilt. And we want Kennedy and Richmond High to stay up there, get on top. And we'll bring more information about that. But that was pulled, and they'll probably have a special meeting on facilities.
They are having a special
They're going to have a special meeting on facilities. So those are the updates so far. Yeah.
And the county had an important charter school meeting.
Oh, yes. We're moving on our policy. And what we were able to do, we came to a really good agreement. There was one policy that was put forward by the staff that the committee was not happy with, and there was another put up by CSBA, and also that I felt the West Contra Costa was a lot better. And what we did is we were able to look at both of them at the same time. And thanks to our trustee Butler, we went through it line by line. Boy, that lady does her homework, I tell you. And we came to something we were both happy with. So that was a plus. That was a big plus. So yeah, and
there's a lot happening at the county on the charter school level, and also at West Contra Costa with their charter committee.
Yes, we are definitely involved in all that. Okay, all right, that's all I have.
So, and just to add to that, for privatizing, I'm going to give them a shout out again to Florida, because they, in addition to the other things we mentioned before, they are looking at expanding their vouchers, right? To ultimately do what some other states, and in particular West Virginia and Ohio, but I think Florida may get there ahead of them, just to have a universal voucher system. And a universal voucher system would undermine and completely privatize education in the state of Florida if they get there. Because that would mean that everybody who is in every private school would be, parochial schools and independent private schools would all be financially supported by the state.
Yeah, would destroy public education.
Right. It's, I mean, it is just saying, we don't think, we don't value it. We don't think public education is useful. We believe it should all be private. That's really the philosophy behind it.
Yeah.
And that is moving forward in Florida.
Yeah.
Right. So I have a link to the, of course, the opposition would be the Florida teachers unions. And they don't have teachers unions. They have an education association, because that's how they do it. And there's a podcast that they have regarding what's happening in Florida. And it's just, I think, important for people to realize that even though California has has made decisions here, that doesn't mean that things won't change, and that there's an industry of folks who are trying to undermine public education. And I'm not seeing that they're not going away. So we just need to continue to be aware of what's happening and where it's happening to protect all of us, right?
Ongoing.
It is. It's very ongoing.
Okay.
And then finally, it's time for a shout out. And this week, it also comes from the West Contra Costa board meeting, where the Crespi community Crespi Middle School came to share out their efforts to rename their school. And the two names that are now in the running are Chochenyo Middle School. And we're familiar with the name Chochenyo, the language of the Ohlone people, and Betty Reed Soskin Middle School, after Betty Reed Soskin, who is a national hero and is a park ranger at the Rosie the River National Park, and has written her books and been an incredible African-American female leader in the Richmond area.
Gosh, wouldn't that be great? I'd be so happy with either one of those two. Yeah, I taught at Crespi, and I remember thinking, this guy, Juan Crespi, was a colonizer. We don't want this guy's name on here. And
right.
My gosh, this is so.
And the time has come now where people are rethinking all of this. That's really what this is. This is a real moment of shift and folks opening their minds.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, sure.
So the 8th graders who led the charge presented the other night, and with the support of Principal Guthrie Fleischman, and the entire board. I give the board tremendous credit. This entire board who are behind me here supported moving ahead with the efforts to rename it. So congratulations to them.
Shout out
to all of them.
Great. All right.
So that's it for us this week. We'll come back next week. We'll talk more about the next steps in the testing webinar. Right?
Yes, we will. We'll give that a lot of attention next week. Sure.
But save the date. The date for that will be June 15th. That's our new date in the evening. And so that's a Tuesday night, and it will be simulcast to YouTube too.
Yes.
So see you next week.
Hey, bye everybody.